being a woman naturally poses many challenges. It has for years, and it still does even today. Um, I think it's sad that in the 21st century, women are still having to overcome all these social barriers because of gender inequality. Especially, I've been doing a lot of, in the workforce, I've been doing a lot of research behind how women are treated alongside men when they're working different jobs. Um, I do think that you might not think that this issue is relevant directly to you if you aren't a female, but there's a lot of reasons why it is. For one, um, you probably have, a mother that works, a girlfriend that works, a wife that works. Overall, you're going to know a woman that works. And these women that are in your life and that you're probably close to are directly affected by these, social barriers, especially in the workforce. Um, Women are facing this discrimination all due to sexist traditional ideas and stereotypes. It is statistically proven that um, women are underrepresented in top positions. So, positions such as CEOs, managers, women aren't being given equal opportunities to hold these higher positions and higher rankings. This does nothing but create more of a gap, an economic gap, and like an income, like what a woman's making versus what her male coworker is making. This is why we see a lot of gaps in wages, and this is statistically proven that men are making higher wages than women. And the reason behind this is that there's this subconscious knowing, like within the workforce, and especially like with different businesses, that a woman might not be seen fit for a high up position. Um, the Bureau of Labor Statistics actually recently discovered that the largest gap between wages in men and women in sales is because women are given less inferior jobs. So this is a proven, statistic. It's not just something that me as a girl is making up. Um, a sociology professor named Shelley Quarles and Stephen Bernard actually did a study in which they were able to have different, I guess, like what you could say is they were all equally experienced and they were all going out for this job. So there was women that were wives and had kids that applied for this job, and then there was men that were also fathers and had kids to take care of that applied for this job. In the study, they found out that the men that had kids were seen as fit for this job, but the women that had kids were seen as unfit because they were, placed off to the side as having too much on their plate, too much to deal with. They had to be a mother to these kids, and that was seen as a deciding factor in being fit or unfit for the job, which to me is very, another thing, an issue. I mean, it's not something that people consider, but women that have, the responsibility of being a mother, it often affects how they're seen in the job force, which it shouldn't, because a dad also has to be a parent too, and it's not clearly in the studies affecting how he's viewed for being fit for a job. Women holding positions of power actually has been proven to positively impact a work environment, and that's for multiple reasons. For one, men and women have different traits, so women possess, different work skills than men do, and so when these work skills are combined, it can create, a positive environment for a company or business to flourish in. This has been something that certain businesses have already, taken steps towards. Um, but there still has been hidden bias that will, affect how women overcome these stereotypes to actually benefit by working with males. A company that is pushing for more diversity in the workforce actually helps overcome hidden bias. The more that women that are included in executive positions, the more seriously they will be taken. So the more that companies work towards overcoming hidden bias, the more women will be given a chance to have higher positions, higher wages, and more equality in the economy. Um, I think that it is vital that women continue to work for progressive change in the workforce to better society as a whole and to provide everyone with equal opportunities. To me, it's very disturbing that we are in the 21st century and women are still having to overcome this social barrier. And I do think that it's something that can be resolved. I do think it will take time and it might take more, laws that are put into action for these barriers to be overcame, but I don't understand why it is something that hasn't been more that hasn't changed faster, because it has been proven that having both men and women in a workplace works in favor of the business when it comes to an economic standpoint, the ideas. There's newer, women come up sometimes when they collaborate with men with newer ideas or ideas that are more, they go out to a broader audience. So I do think that it's also something that benefits both parties. And I think that also America is all about promoting equality so that hard workers can prosper. And we cannot forget that this applies to women. It's very vital that American citizens and people that are in the workforce come together and work towards the American dream, which has always been promoting equality throughout, having different, being able to prosper and you're in the workforce, and being a woman should not have any effect on that. Women should have the chance to prosper so that they can provide for those kids that they have and they can provide for the family that they have instead of being discriminated against. I think that Americans will work towards this goal by having a more diverse workforce, whether that takes laws or just citizen action. But there's lots of ways that women can push for moving on up in the workforce, higher wages, and really getting the equality that they deserve.